Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be working on this PlayStation 5. This is the digital edition and it's been sent in by a customer. I don't have any information on this. The customer sent a few devices in, but this one I've just plugged in and it doesn't turn on. So fingers crossed we're going to be able to get that fixed. But if you're new to the channel, my name's Hakko, I'm an electronics technician. I mainly work on games consoles, but I do work on other stuff as well. So if that's the sort of stuff you're into, be sure to get subscribed and turn on the bell notifications, and that way you don't miss any future videos. If you do want to organise a repair, you can get in touch with me at the coder.repair. You can book in the repair, or you can get in touch if you want to request a quote. And if you need any parts and supplies for these, you can get those on my online store, consolefix.shop. But with that being said, let's get into the video. You probably don't give a damn about what I've got to say, but just hear me out for a minute, alright? We all know that those sweaty little douchebags with cheesy fingers, living in the mom's basement, drinking Red Bull and simping over TikTok losers are gonna break the console. And you and I both know that you're too cheap to buy off eBay, you're too impatient to wait for AliExpress, and you're just about smart enough to avoid Amazon completely. You can admit it, because I'm exactly the same. That's why I started my online store, consolefix.shop. I'll sell every part you'll need to fix the Xbox One, Series S, Series X, PS4, PS5 and Nintendo Switch consoles. So why not give me the money instead of some random dude on eBay? At least if I have it, you know it's not going to waste on some stupid thing like promoted eBay listings or food for the kids or something. If you give me your money instead, I'll promise I'll use it on useful things, like buying views on TikTok. So before you decide to go to one of the more popular sites and line the pockets of some fat cat loser, take a look at my online store. Check out the link in the video description or the top pinned comment and get 10% off any order over £25 during checkout. Alright, now you can go back to watching this douchebag on YouTube trying to fix something.
You can't say stuff like that in an advert, dude.
You're not my dad, dude. Don't tell me what to do.
That's what you think, Phil.
Wait, what? Mom? So, if you take a look here, you can see that it's plugged in and I'm trying to turn it on, pressing the power button, and I get absolutely nothing. I have lifted the lid off this and it does look like it's been worked on before. I'm not sure if it's had any prior repair attempts or anything like that, but we'll have to see about that when we get into the console. But a no power issue can be down to a large number of things. Usually it's down to something like a short or something like that on the board. You know, something like a 5-volt short, or could be a bad Southbridge, it could be, you know, pretty much anything. But it looks like we've got half the screws missing in this, so I'll have to get in touch with the customer and see if the customer has the screws. If not, then I'll obviously have to replace them if I get this working. If I don't get it working, then I wouldn't replace them, but yeah. So yeah, I'm going to get this apart. Hopefully it's not too difficult to figure out, but we're not going to know that until we actually work on it. First thing I'm going to do is just check the 3.3 volt line just by the power button here, just see if we're getting 3.3 volt there. So if I just pop one probe on ground and the other probe on this resistor by the power button, we do get 3.3 volts there, so the power supply is working. Okay, so it's not just going to be a boring power supply replacement. I'm assuming if it was a power supply replacement, then we wouldn't have this on the bench, considering it's been worked on. So yeah, I'm going to get this plate off and then I'll check some more voltage rails. Okay, there we are. So that's all done. So we've got all of the screws removed. If I just unplug that, and that's been taped down, but I'll sort that out later. Okay, so I'm ready to check some voltage rails. Let me just zoom in. And this does not look good at all. It looks like someone's used what appears to be a corrosive flux. That does not look good. We'll worry about that in a minute. I'm going to remove this heatsink clamp because that's got to come out anyway to be able to do any work to this board. So we'll get rid of that. And we'll also get rid of that antenna. And now I can just carry on testing voltage rails. So if I just pop one probe on ground, we've got a 6-pin transistor here. We should get 5 volts. We do. Just down here on this 5-pin transistor, we should get 3.3, and we do. Okay. And then 5 volts on the fuse for F7002. 3.3 above here. Correct, yeah. And we should get 0.8 volts there, correct. 2 volts, 5 volts there. 0.8. Hang on, should we get 5 volts there? Huh. I'm sure we should get 2 volts there. I'm not. Am I losing my mind? No, 2 volts is here. Never mind, sorry. Hang on. Wait. I'm pretty sure that should be 2.5 volt when the console's turned on. Okay. $12 volts there. Nothing there, and that does drop my voltage down to 0.0005 volts. So 5 millivolts. That appears like it's, well, that's acting like it's short just down here. So we've got a 5 volt line down here, and that's a common cause of no power on these. And that's kind of acting like it's short. It looks like it's nulling the leads out, and it shouldn't do that. Never mind, let's go ahead and just, oh dear, no. Oh, well, okay. What? Well, it's not going to turn on, is it? That is not good at all. So someone's removed the Southbridge and taped it down. Oh, wow. Okay, so that Southbridge needs reballing before I can even start. Yeah, this incurs a bench fee. Immediately, this incurs a bench fee because I can't even do any fault finding on this board until I actually reboard a Southbridge. So, yeah, that is not good. Right, well, I guess I'm reboarding a Southbridge immediately. That is honestly pretty annoying. I should have been told about this, because I've just wasted 10 minutes checking voltage rails and I didn't have to. I could have just jumped straight into this. So there's 10 minutes wasted straight away checking voltage rails. I could have just taken it apart. I wouldn't have even tried to turn it on. I would have just taken it apart, rebuilt the Southbridge and carried on from there. At least gets a bench fee just for that, because I've had to waste time. Right, so I've got my stencil ready here to rebuild this Southbridge. As you can probably tell by the change in the tone of my voice, I'm not enthusiastic about this job already. Like, this is not a good start whatsoever. Okay, so this hasn't even been wicked away properly, so I'm going to have to sort that out. Just had a bit of fluff on my flux needle there. So yeah, this isn't a good start whatsoever. Right, so unfortunately my capture card just crashed on me and didn't catch me adding more flux to this, but never mind. This is not a good start to the video, not a good start to the entire job. I hope it doesn't continue like that. Okay, so yeah, I'm just cleaning this up, just trying to get it to a point where I can actually reboard it without having any issues. So I'll just put a bit of IPA on there, just clean that off. Okay, so that's clean enough now. Let's add some more fresh flux. Drop my stencil on. I'm going to pop this on the magnet and use my 0.45mm balls. People ask me all the time why I don't use solder paste for these. You get a much better consistency when you're dealing with the solder balls themselves, because they're all the same size, or they should be. So you don't have to worry about one ball being too small and not making a contact, for example. and stuff like that. It's not that I can't use the solder paste, it's that I just don't like to. And solder balls are a lot cheaper as well. They last a lot longer. It's about 20 British pounds for 250,000 solder balls, and they last absolutely ages. So yeah, it just makes more sense to use the solder balls rather than the solder paste. Alright, so yeah, I'm just going to get this reballed quickly. Stray solder ball there then. I've got my hot air set at 440 degrees Celsius. I've got my airflow set at 40%, and I wouldn't recommend using that, but I am pretty experienced in reballing, so I can actually do it without worrying about the solder balls flying all over the place. But I would recommend using a really low airflow, like 5% or something. Okay, there they are. Now I'm just going to add some flux. So all of the solder balls should jump into place properly now with the flux there. You don't want to have too much flux when you first start, because it just causes solder balls to fly everywhere and just float around. But once they're all partially soldered onto the chip, you can add some more flux and reflow it. And that should allow it to flow properly. So when I lift this stencil off now, it should just drop out. So I'm going to wait for all this to solidify. I've taken it out of the magnet base, or taking it off the magnet base rather. Just going to give the stencil a bit of a wiggle. That keeps it loose, stops the flux from causing it to stick down. And then if I just lift this off, that's good there. I'll give that one final reflow in a minute, but before I do anything, I'm going to clean my stencil again, just so as it's ready for the next job. And if you do need to buy a stencil, a Southbridge, I do sell these pre-balled. They are genuine Southbridges, taken from PS5s. They're not cheap Chinese knockoff. Well, not knockoffs, but well, I think they come off the failure line, to be honest, half the time, because half the time they just don't work. But there we go. So that stencil is now cleaned and ready for my next reball. Good. And what I'm going to do is just bring this back in now, and I'm going to reflow this. Just give it one final reflow. And you'll see some of these balls will jump in. Some of them won't be perfectly aligned right now, which is why I'll do the third reflow. And then we'll just wait for that to cool down. Just pour some IPA on there. Okay, so Southbridge is reballed. Let's clean the jig. Again, ready for the next job. There we are. Beautiful. Don't worry about those exposed pads down there. It's absolutely fine. It's just because I had to scrape the chip. They're not damaged, so it's fine. If I was reselling it, I'd conform or coat that. But because I'm using it myself, I can just go ahead and put it on. It's fine. That's reballed. Absolutely fine. No issues with that. That went about as well as it could. Alright, let's get this installed, shall we? Got a lot of exposed pads here. Let me just see if these are going to cause an issue. Maybe. Why someone's taken this Southbridge off, I don't know. And this is the problem. I've got to put this Southbridge on before I can even go ahead and do any testing. It's really, really annoying. Okay, so to get this lined up, it's actually relatively simple. So we've got pin 1 here in the top left, in the orientation that I've got the board in. If I place it roughly in line, and then press on the chip itself and give it a wiggle, it's not going to move because it's perfectly lined up. Whereas if it's out of line, like this for example, see how it moves when I wiggle it? If I get it lined up again, and I know that's perfectly lined up. So when I go to solder this down, I know that we're not going to have any issues. So if I just press on the chip, release my finger, and then release, and now I can flow it down. So I'm going to use 440 degrees Celsius again, 40% airflow, and it should jump into line. It's not perfectly lined up, but it's lined up enough to the point where I can allow surface tension to take over. Okay, that's starting to sit. Just add some flux. Don't know where my tweezers have gone. I've just had them. Okay, I'm just giving that a nudge and it's springing back in, so that means it should be lined up nicely and every single ball should be soldered down. Okay, once that's done, or once it's cooled down like that, I can give it a clean. And looking at my recording on OBS, the software that I use for recording, I'm already 25 minutes in and I'm just getting to the point where I can start fault finding this, which is why it has to have a bench fee, because I'm wasting time. And it's time that I could be spent doing other things, or time that could be spent doing other things. So I could be working on another job, I could be reballing chips ready for resale, I could be cleaning, I could be spending time with family. I mean, it's, just for context, it's Sunday. I'm working on Sunday. I could be spending time with family. So this has to have a bench fee, unfortunately. That's assuming I can't fix it. So if I can't fix it, it has to have a bench fee. Right, okay, let's have a look. Nope, it doesn't turn on. Lovely. Beautiful. Right, okay, so now we need to figure out why. And this is the problem. So voltage rails, we get 5 volts, we get 3.3, 5, 0 volts. I'm assuming that's going to be 2.5 when we turn it back on. 5 volts. Yeah, okay. So we're getting the same voltage rails we got with the Southbridge off, which, yes, that is normal. You will get your so if you've got a shorted Southbridge, it'll shut all your rails down. But if you've got no Southbridge, it will give you the voltage rails. It's perfectly normal. Let me just have a look at my boot sequence on my 12 volt. So by boot sequence, I mean when we first turn this on, we're supposed to expect a current draw of around about 300 milliamps, and then it should drop back down to around 9 milliamps. So what are we getting? We're getting 81 milliamps. That's telling me the Southbridge is dead. Let me just apply some heat to the Southbridge. Let me just try it while it's warm. 8 milliamps. Yeah, 0.08. There's my tweezers. Okay, I'm going to try this on my other bench supply, because sometimes, for whatever reason, a PS5 might not like one bench power supply. I've had that in the past. I'm just going to try it again. Yeah, 0.074. Okay, I'm just sorting out these caps just to drain them down here. And now we've got to figure out what's going on. So this is indicative of a Southbridge short, or a bad Southbridge, which means I've got to reball a working Southbridge and put that on. So we've got no shorts around there. Yeah, so I'm not seeing any shorts. Yeah, so this is telling me that we've got a bad safe bridge, to be honest. So the safe bridge has probably died. Just going to apply heat once more. Yeah. No change when we put heat into the safe bridge. So yeah, I'm gonna have to reboard the safe bridge and replace it myself with one of my own. Well, that's annoying. So the reason that I'm going to be replacing this safe bridge is because a 80 milliamp current draw is normally a bad safe bridge, and the fact that this has been taken off, I don't know how much heat's been put into it, I don't know what's been done to it, how many times it's been reballed and whatever. It could very well be a bad safe bridge. I don't think it's wise to do this with the micro pencil, to be honest. Not the greatest choice when I'm a lazy technician and I can't be bothered to change it. I do have 2 Hakko units, but I haven't got them both plugged in this workshop. The micro pencil isn't even big enough to pick up the solder blob. Yeah, definitely not the wisest choice. Alright. Okay. A little bit of flux here. And then we're ready for reball. Okay. While it's still hot, add flux and reflow. There we go. While it's still warm, I'm going to give it a wiggle, make sure that the flux doesn't cause it to stick. There we are. And again, clean stencil. Alright, what are we dealing with here then? So now you can see a little bit better that some of these balls are not perfectly lined up, so we've got a stray one there for a start, get rid of that. But you can see that, for example, this ball here, not perfectly lined up, so obviously we need to do that. Got another ball there which isn't lined up. That's going to be stuck. I'm going to have to take that ball off and redo that one. I'll wait for it to solidify just in case it doesn't stick to it. Oh, it didn't. Nice. I just about caught it. Alright. There we go. Okie dokie. We should be good to go there. Okay, and now that it's reballed, I can go ahead and just take this one off. I've just realised we're not going to get a boot sequence. There's a knocked component. We're never going to get a boot sequence. I didn't notice that before. I don't know if that was me, but I don't think it was. I don't knock components normally. Now I'm going to have to finish reflowing this Southbridge. I should have known. Honestly, I should have known. I should have been looking for not components based on what I've seen so far. Never mind. Let's have a look. No, I still get the same symptoms. I'm just going to clean this up. No, I still get the same symptoms. Oh, I get a beep now though. I do get a beep now though. It does attempt to turn on. It's not going to turn on. I'm still getting 90 milliamps. But it's a start. No, so it's a single beep every 20-30 seconds or so. So that again could be a bad Southbridge. Let me just see. Do I get 1.5 volts per whoops, voltage mode? No. So I get 5 volts down here. No. Okay, so it's not generating some of the rails then. Again, that could be a bad Southbridge. And honestly, with how much heat this Southbridge has had to have, it's very possible. So I'm going to change it. See if we get the same symptoms. So here's a problem. Half of these solder pads are exposed. Alright. Just cleaned that up. Okay, so there's that. This is going to take some doing to get cleaned up. So the problem here, as you can probably see, is that all of these traces are exposed. And the problem with that is that when you've got exposed traces, you end up with solder flowing over to the trace itself. And that causes the solder balls to become uneven. And that is obviously an issue. I can't allow that. So I've got some solder mask just there. Conformal coating, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to have to go ahead and coat all of the exposed lines, which is going to be tedious and it's going to take a while. Okay, I think that will get it. I just need to cure that using a UV light. So I'm going to leave this under the UV light for a few minutes just to clean up, or just to cure up rather. It'll take a minute. Alright, that should be cured now. We should be good to go there. So I'm going to get this Southbridge back on, or rather get a replacement Southbridge on. Add some flux. Make sure that the chip is in the right orientation. And reflow. Or flow it down rather. So that'll just stop the solder from spilling over and causing the solder balls to become uneven. I mean, a millimetre or so is never going to hurt, but you know, you don't want to end up with solder balls merging underneath the chip because two pads are connected internally and the solder mask has been exposed. Not that it would hurt, but it would make the solder balls smaller and they probably won't make a connection. Yeah, we've got some excess solder mask there, but who cares? Right, so that should be flowed down a little bit. So rather than letting it cool down and have another heat cycle, add some flux right away and reflow it. Okay, that's done. And now we'll just let that cool down. Just get rid of the excess solder mask there. Alright, that's nicely cleaned up. So what I want to do as well is just clean this up because this looks an absolute mess. So what's actually happened here I'll never know. But I'm just going to warm it all up and then I'll make it easy for cleaning. I don't think it's actually going to clean up, to be honest. It's probably been left there too long. But at least I'll get the flux off it. So the problem is as well is I don't know what flux that is, but it looks corrosive, and if I leave that there it's just going to eat the board away. Or very likely going to eat the board away. That looks a bit better. And it's about as good as I'm going to get it to look anyway. But yeah, at least that looks better now, and obviously this side nice and clean and etc, etc. So happy days. Let's just have a look. Just see my boot sequence. No, we still get no boot sequence there. Yeah, we still don't get a boot sequence at all. Let's just have a look on the other bench supply. Yeah, we get 100 milliamps. I don't even know what that could be. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Oh no. We have a dead APU. Oh, for goodness sake, I've just wasted all that time for nothing. We have a cracked APU. Lovely. That is the perfect finish to this, isn't it? Right there, look. So the die is cracked and chipped in the corner. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? Well, that's going to end it. I'm not going to be doing any more work to this. So, yeah, the symptoms on this, it's drawing 100 milliamps of current draw, which is an improvement on what it was, but this has been bashed and beaten, and why someone's ever taken the Southbridge off in the first place, I will never know. But because of that, I've seen that Southbridge, missed the APU, and I've just wasted an hour of my time, or more than an hour of my time, because I've reballed the Southbridge, thought that was dead because of the symptoms it was having, and in fact that is dead, so I'm going to be taking mine off, because mine, it's drawing 100 milliamps. So it's trying to power on the APU. Yeah, that's really annoying. It's really frustrating, I'm going to admit. This is why we have a bench fee. Right, well, I'm afraid there's nothing else I'm going to be able to do to it, because I've missed this APU because of the Southbridge being taped down to the board. Absolute insanity. Yeah, sorry it wasn't more interesting, guys. That's going to be it for now. Thank you very much for watching. If you do have any comments or questions, leave them down in the comment section down below. I'll always do my best to answer. If you do want to organise a repair, you can get in touch at thecodad.repair, and if you do want to buy any parts and supplies for these, you can get them from my online store, consolefix.shop. So with that being said, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.